My friends Tom and James recently loaned me their Osmo Pocket 3, which is what I'm filming this on just now. If you don't know it, it's a weird ass looking little camera. If you were handed this camera 50 years ago, you'd have probably no idea. If you couldn't power it on, you would have no idea what it was, I think, because even the lens is like hidden in a weird way. It looks really strange, but the quality of it is phenomenal. Like, partly that is the fact that it has a gimbal built into it, and so it's very stable. It compensates for my movement as I'm walking with it. And by the way, the motor is almost literally silent. In a completely dead silent room, if I put it up to my ear, I can hear it, but it is so quiet. Even then, it's barely perceptible to my ears. Quality, so the gimbal's great. Quality of the actual sensor and stuff is beautiful. Like, I'm filming in some decently complex, harsh conditions just now, and it is just like pick up, point it, walk with it. I was doing some specking up for a very high profile creative project recently involving like a worldwide brand, and for one of the filming things I was like, Osmo Pocket 3 is mad. Like, from the point of view of it being so foolproof, it is incredible. The other thing I was going to say though was about that nature of cameras. So I'm just taking this strap out of my hand. Here we go, switch hands. Nature of cameras. Both my grandparents were photographers, and I would love to be able to show them something like this, but it's such an interesting object. It's such an interesting thing to have happened to not just camera technology, but to the role of cameras themselves. This looks nothing like the film SLRs that they had, Canon and Pentax. And that's in part the tech. It doesn't need film. But more than that, it's to do with the purpose that we have for this stuff. The very fact that this is shooting video, for one thing, which they weren't doing, is definitely a thing. But even beyond that, the notion of a selfie was barely a thing. Well, it wasn't a thing in their day. So being able to and shooting in 9:16 as I am just now wasn't a thing for them either. So it's very strange to me that we have, in the course of 2 generations, almost entirely shifted the notion of what photography, and in quote marks, is for. Last thing, what a golden age we live in when tech like this is accessible. Like, obviously we live in a fucking awful age in many ways. Obviously we do. But to have access to kit like this, to be able to share things and articulate messages, is wild to me. DJI recently brought out a new drone. Can't remember what it's called. Neo Mini 2, something like that. And I won't get the price exactly right, but it's something like £289. And the quality of that is gorgeous. It's hard to. Not everybody knows what I mean by the quality of an image, I guess. But specifically talking about colour rendering, aperture, dynamic range, all that sort of stuff in this little sensor in this camera. And with the drone, it is under 200 quid, which is still a chunk of money. Let's not kid ourselves, still a lot of money. But it is starting to get to that stage where it might be in my future at some point to get one of those, because it's just tipping towards affordability, just for fun. And that drone is, if you look at the gimbal tech that's in this little camera here, that's obviously all in the drone as well, and vice versa. And it's gesture controlled, and you can make it orbit you as you scoot down a mountain on a mountain bike. The tech is wildly good, and that 289, I think that's what it was, price point. I think that's even with extra batteries, because flight time is rubbish. But as a thing, it's a hell of a thing. Why does it matter? It matters from the point of view of democratizing technology so that more people can share messages, and also so that the means of producing those messages and distributing them are not gatekept by the people who can afford to do so. You know? I can't remember how much this thing costs. I think it's about 300 or 400 quid. Again, not a small amount of money. I'm not suggesting this is an everyman tech, but it is much more so than what we've had before, and in how people can get the opportunity to, and to get the fluency to articulate a message and get it out into the world. And specifically because this is a world that is not in great shape right now. You know, if I talk about this being a golden age for tech and for the means of production, from a media perspective, you know, capitalism, communism, that's the fight about controlling the means of production, right? Usually we mean like factories, but here we're talking about fucking drone cameras. But because the world is in such a powerless state right now, the ability to get the message out and to share more hopeful and less compliant perspectives, I think is a good thing. So thank you, Tom, and thank you, James, for the loan of this little camera. I'm going to do more with it, but I thought I would record a little higher with some of my thoughts so far. Now I'm going to go and get lunch.